Okay, guys. This is part 2 about the social media platforms, and I'm going to again read from Revenge and Machinery. And I'm sorry, I am blind as a bat. I have my contact lenses in so I can see distance, but I had to run and get my readers. So this is part 2 of it, which is essentially the read. And because it's snowy and cold outside, I thought I would read from a little snow scene from Revenge and Machinery. And it's book 2 of the Society series, which is on Amazon. Kate closed her eyes. The list popped into her head. Othcom looked like Gotham. The letters are mixed, she panicked. Notify Director Roth that Lord Wilson is in danger. Now, don't hesitate. Kate hollered as she ran to her trusty companion, her feet trudging through the thickening snow. She had to catch up to his carriage. Kate mounted and slapped the reins. Come on, Sonny. Her faithful steed charged through the snow, leaving a mist of flurries behind. She hoped she'd be able to follow the sleigh's trail before the snow filled it. As her steed went into full gallop, she tried in vain to remember where she had seen him before. It wasn't here in the Society. It was on an engagement. But which one? Her mind was a blur with the white of the snow. Kate could barely just make out the carriage rudder marks. It appeared that they were leading to Lafayette Park. Trees emerged from the white out as she had passed some of the lovely stately homes that surrounded the park. As she entered near the police station, she could finally see the shadow of the carriage plowing through. Its pace had picked up considerably and jostled its inhabitant. Inside, Lord Wilson gripped the door handle, which had frozen shut. He had been shouting at the driver to no avail. Slow down, are you mad? You'll kill us both. Kate gained speed and was almost aside the wayward vehicle. The cold blasted her face and stung through her gloves. They were moving at a breakneck pace towards the north end of the park. As Kate closed in, the driver lost his muffler and saw his pursuer. Suddenly, she got a good look at him. It was the man that Madeline Fahey had sold the mysterious plans to. He made a sharp turn in front of Kate, cutting her off. Sonny reared up, but Kate clung on, gripping the reins with whitened knuckles. Inside the carriage, Lord Wilson fell away from the door and crashed into the other side of the seat. Shit, he cried out as the pain jarred his shoulder. Only padding of the blankets cushioned his slam into the hard wooden construction. His head pounded with ferocity and anger that yet another mole had managed to infiltrate the Society. He gripped onto the seat with every inch of strength as the sleigh did a complete turnaround and headed for the frozen over lake. Kate soothed Sonny and again took off after them. A flurry of Canadian geese scrambled and honked as the chase approached the edge of the frozen pond. But the ice was not as thick as Mr. Gotham had hoped. When the carriage bounced onto the lake, the blade sliced into it. It fractured immediately, and the sleigh toppled sideways into the cold water below. The driver was tossed up from the top and crashed headfirst onto the blue-glazed waters. Lord Wilson cracked his head with a dull thud on the ceiling and fell unconscious. Kate had paused at the edge and watched in horror as the sleigh crashed. She jumped from Sonny and tentatively stepped out on the ice that hadn't broken, well knowing that the slightest move could pull her under. As she approached the scene, Kate cracked her whip and caught one of the blade supports. She pulled herself to the edge of the water as the sleigh bobbled perilously. Lord Wilson! Wilson! Kate screamed over the howling wind as she pounded on the door, her hands feeling as if they would fracture. She steadied herself against the carriage while she freed her whip. Kate eased along the edge of the ice with gritted teeth as she unburdened the workhorse. The animal was able to find some footing in the shallow water and made it to shore. Kate was able to peer between a coverlet and the frame of the window to see that Lord Wilson's body was submerged and locked just under the waterline. Her heart fell. You are strong. You must do this. He will die if you don't. She encouraged herself. Kate clambered up the faltered vehicle, praying she could get to Lord Wilson. The door was still stuck, so Kate busted through the window with the handle of her whip and a loud pop. Glass flew into the wind that blistered her bare face. A few feet away, a stunned Mr. Gotham came to his senses. He shook his head and pushed him up slowly onto the slippery ice. Upon seeing Kate, he reached into his coat to pull out his revolver, but fell as it went off. The bullet ricocheted off one of the blades with a bang as he attempted to stand again. Kate, alerted by the ping of the bullet, again used her trusty weapon. With a quick flick, she struck out and sent the whip around Mr. Gotham's neck. It coiled around him like a deadly python. His hands grasped at the leather while Kate pulled as hard as she could. The muscles in her arms strained to control him. She dug her heels into the stepboard and yanked while Mr. Gotham slid face forward onto the ice. He sputtered violently, but could not speak as she slowly choked the life out of him. His face reddened until at last his eyes closed, his body went limp, and he expired. So that's a neat little scene, again, from the second of the Society's series books, number 2, the trilogy, Revenge and Machinery. And you can get it on Amazon, or if you like digital formats, on Kindle. So they're there. And again, I prefaced the other video with a couple quick notes that I'd like to know from you guys what you guys prefer in terms of video. Where do you like to watch it? Do you like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram? I'm on all of those, but I'm also on Twitch and Tumblr too, which don't seem to get seen as often, but it's there. So I'd love if you'd comment below, or leave a comment on a blog I'm going to put out today about the same subject on WordPress, which is mysteampunkproject.wordpress.com. And all my social media links are always there, as well as my Etsy store and my Amazon author page. So I'd love to hear from you guys. Again, feel free to comment. Comment on the book too. Let me know how you're liking it. I'm busy at work on many things, which will reveal themselves very soon. Thanks. Have a good night.